So Councillor Flude, a really interesting morning this morning.
Extremely interesting. Very interesting to see the new way of thinking about the new participation between health and social care and the voluntary sector. I've obviously got some concerns about funding and the way things are gone, particularly for the voluntary sector, when we see local authorities with sort of 28% cuts in the overall budgets and things. We don't want to see we want to see the voluntary sector growing, and within the voluntary sector you've got to have the right funding, because volunteers need to be insured, volunteers need to be managed, volunteers need that support to actually get out and do what we would like them to do, and it's the way we integrate all that across the whole sector. So major changes, but some of them very good and very much focusing on the right things today.
Yeah, of course, and that role of the volunteer within that big society agenda, absolutely crucial. I think one of the things that struck me was when Trevor spoke about neighbours coming in at lunchtime and giving his father food, and that it wasn't just about the food, it was about that interaction. So we need more of that. We need to embrace that agenda and really embed it in our communities.
You do, and I think that's important in some in some areas. Obviously you've got that neighbourly thing where people have lived together in a community over a long period of time, but where you've got areas of serious deprivation, where people are struggling themselves to survive through unemployment and many health difficulties, that interaction is more difficult. I think neighbours would call in, but not necessarily to bring food. And it's about how you keep that interaction going, because in middle class areas and in villages that happens. It's how you actually bring that interaction in areas where you haven't got it at present, where people are struggling.
Yeah.
To survive, where there's been huge demographic changes. One of my was a sort of massive demographic change, because huge influence of people who've come to work here from Eastern Europe. So a lot of elderly people are becoming very isolated in pockets of housing, surrounded by multiple occupancy, either by students from university or by people from Eastern Europe and other areas that have come to work in those areas. So you do see major changes, and when in those changes, sometimes older people can lose that contact that they've always had. So we need to make sure that we make sure that those other communities actually become involved in possibly in some of the things that are our way of life, which they've not necessarily had to know.
So there's lots of work to do.
Yes.
There's lots of, and I presume yourself and all the other councillors will be signing up to the statement of intent.
The Labour group will definitely sign up to the statement of intent.
Excellent.